and you will be very excited about listening to the story of our immigrant entrepreneur today. Before I start, I just want to let everybody know that we are recording this session. We always like to do that because we like to share it on our OneHub website, because this is a pretty very exciting event for us. So I want to welcome, like I said, I want to welcome everybody. Actually, Tatanisha, if you don't mind, is it okay? Don't share that slide yet. I like to talk to the people and I like to be able to see them. So if you can, yeah, that'd be better. Thank you. I spent enough time talking to a black screen on Zoom, so it's nice to be able to see people initially. All right, so we are very thrilled. I particularly am thrilled to welcome Maria Rasouli, our guest speaker today for our Lunch and Learn event. And I have actually a very personal story to share with you regarding how I met Maria and why she is here today to talk to you about her story. So last summer, I actually attended a bicycle tour, a one-day bicycle tour to Cornwall. And the tour was organized by Maria's company, Escape Tours and Rentals. And it was just the most amazing experience, very well organized, very professional, met lots of super people. And Cornwall, you know, you don't think, I actually used to live in Cornwall for a few years when I was a teenager, and I vowed never to go back. However, after doing this bicycle tour, it just amazed me because there's been so much development. And we did a tour along the Ottawa River. Not the Ottawa River, the St. Lawrence River. What's the name? In the St. Lawrence River. So anyways, we spent a wonderful day cycling. We went to a beautiful place for lunch. And then we end up at a brewery and people got to taste different types of beer. And this tour was all organized through Maria, and she also joined the group too. So during that trip, I got to learn about her, chat with her, learn about her story. And as soon as I heard all of her story, I thought, okay, she's definitely somebody we need to bring into OneHub to our Lunch and Learn event. And so you guys can hear about her, both her immigrant story and also her entrepreneur journey, because it is truly amazing. So I'm very proud to be able to welcome Maria today. And I'm sure that after you hear her story, you'll be inspired if you are thinking about being an entrepreneur yourself. Okay, so Tatanisha will actually do an official introduction of Maria. But before we do that, I just want to share some information about OneHub itself. My name is Grace Shang. I am the program manager for OneHub. And we are a 5-year program funded by IRCC. And our mandate is to basically support newcomers, immigrants, refugees to be, entrepreneurs, to start your own business if that's what you're interested in doing. And so at OneHub, we provide a lot of services aside from entrepreneurial training, which is a big component of our program. We also provide mentorship. We provide business coaching, work shadowing opportunities whenever that allows. Due to COVID right now, that's not possible. But we also provide you information about funding opportunities. And then all of our graduates from our training programs or any services we provide, you can then become part of our alumni. And so you can then connect with other clients that have been part of our program, and it's a great way to keep involved in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So we provide quite a lot of programs and services, and if anyone is interested after this session, by all means contact any of us, and we certainly can refer you to whatever service that you may be interested in. So now I will get Tatanisha to officially introduce our guest speaker today, Maria.
Juan Pablo, ven a ver esto.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna start us off just by grounding and situating ourselves. We acknowledge that the land that we are presenting from is the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. The Algonquin peoples have lived on this land since time immemorial, and we must acknowledge and respect the original caretakers of this land, as well as the past and present contributions of all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people of Turtle Island. We're grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and play on their territory. So I am about to introduce our very, very special guest, Maria Rasouli. And let me just rejig things so you can see both of us. Thanks for your patience. Okay, there we go. Just want to spotlight your face. All right, perfect. And there we go. All right, so Maria Rasouli, our special guest, is the founder and operator of Escape Tours and Rentals here in Ottawa. She moved to Canada in 2002 to complete her PhD. And in 2015, she decided to pursue her passion for biking, an activity that she couldn't do as a woman in her home country of Iran. And so Maria started her company with only a website, and now with over 100 bikes, she's grown into a thriving business. Her company offers daily guided seeing tours and rentals to tourists and locals, and has actually been rated the #1 outdoor activity in Ottawa on TripAdvisor. Her and her company have won several city and tourist industry awards, and she's been featured on the New York Times travel section, The Guardian, Travel Network, CBC Radio and TV, as well as other international travel blogs and magazines such as The Spiegel. So we're very honored to have you here, Maria. Please share with us a little bit more of your origin story, how you came to decide Canada would be the place that you wanted to live and become an entrepreneur in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time. I know we are all so busy and there are so many things to do, but you chose to spend it with us today. So I'm grateful for that. And thank you, Grace and Tanisha, for the nice and warm welcome. So I think you said it. You said the whole elevator pitch, Tanisha. I don't know if I have much to say after that. You can see that piece have been worked on a lot to make sure you put the essence of the story in one paragraph.
Yeah, I wanted to just give everyone a taster, but I'm sure there's more. I love the saying of you see people's highlight reels, but you don't necessarily see the background work. And so I can already sense from that bio that there was so much labor and love that went into growing Escape Tours and Rental into what it actually is. And just even your journey from Iran to Canada, we'd love to hear more about that.
For sure. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Iran, and I did my bachelor there. And at the beginning of my master, the first year of my master's, I had the unfortunate incident of losing both my parents within 5.5 months. And somehow that shock also became basically a motivation for me to leave. I always wanted to leave the country and pursue my PhD, either US or Europe. I had started learning German because I was planning to possibly go to Germany. But then when my parents passed away, I felt like my roots had been taken away from me in Iran. And I felt, I am young and I can plant myself somewhere else where I feel free and hopefully respected as a woman, because that was one of my biggest challenges in Iran, the way women were treated and, kind of basically, everything was pretty much discrimination. And somehow I don't know, I was extra sensitive to it. I saw it on a daily basis, and I got into arguments. I got into basically some sort of fight here and there, because it would bother.
Naturally.
Yeah, if you are waiting on a bench, you are waiting online, and a man just comes in front of you as if you're nobody. And I used to say, excuse me, do you think I'm a tree here? I'm a human waiting here. And they would be shocked. So I was a bit outspoken in that sense. So anyway, all of those kind of accelerated my effort. And many of us here are immigrant, and we worked hard. So my story is not unique from that point of view. But in a sense, it was very hard because my parents weren't rich at all. They didn't leave anything for us. So I was doing full-time masters. I was working full-time. I was learning English full-time to be able to pass my English test. And at the time, the relationship in Iran and the West was so bad that we had to go to another country to do the English test. At the time, they wouldn't give visa to a woman under 30 who is single. So I had to go through a lot of hoops just to get my English test and to apply. And I wanted to go to Canada or US. It was 2002, a year after 9/11. So the situation was not that great. So I decided, you know what, I'll go to Canada. And then from there, I hop over a car and I go to US eventually. That was fun, but here we are, 20 years almost later. I'm still here. So yeah, I love this so much that I didn't even think twice about leaving the country. So yeah, I came here and I did my PhD. I worked as consultant. I was teaching at Carleton University in business school, but something was missing. I wasn't feeling satisfied. Mostly, I'm not someone who can do 9 to 5. Give me 500K per year, tell me sit in the office 9 to 5. I can't do that. It kills me. It's just not about the money. It's just I came to the conclusion that it's just I've not made like that. So I did a bit of soul searching, and I constantly, was kind of asking myself the question, what would make me happy? Because my mom died when she was 43. My dad died when he was 51. And I kept telling myself, I can't wait to retire to be happy. So I want to do something that I'm happy today, not when I retire. It's not just a job. I don't have kids. They're my dependents. So I can do whatever I want. I've already been crazy enough to borrow the airplane get money from my dad's friend to come here with nothing. So why not just, continue on the people say risk taking, and I say it's a series of foolish acts that I get involved because I feel like, I have one life to live, so I have nothing to lose. So I started the journey, and in 2013-14, I came back to my childhood memories of when I used to bike as a little girl. And as soon as I hit puberty, I wasn't allowed to do that. And that was the happiest time in my life. And I wanted to do that. I loved a great city for biking. So that kept, coming to my mind when I reflected. What also bothered me is that a lot of people would look at Ottawa as a government town, as a boring town, and I could see that there is a gap. People do not realize what a hidden treasure this city is. So combining my love for biking and for the city that, has given me peace, my life, my happiness, I decided to start the Bike Tour company. And, I did my homework. I basically did bike mechanic certificate. I went to Waterloo, did a 7-day training there. I changed my resume. I made myself as I don't have a PhD bachelor, and I got a job just at a bike shop because I wanted to understand the industry. That was my motivation. Basically, I got entry-level job, and they gave me a lot of kids' bikes to build. And kids' bikes are the because they're the lowest quality.
Sorry,
but
sorry, it's true. I hear you. Sorry to interrupt you. I want to be able to hear everything, and I think everybody else does as well, but we're having some feedback issues. Can everyone mute their mic? Can everyone mute their mic and keep it muted and stay muted? Yes? Awesome. Thank you. We'll have a Q&A session where we can open it up. Okay, awesome. Yes, you were talking about your certification you got from Waterloo, and
I mean, I got that summer, I got entry-level job in 2 bike shops to understand the industry, and then that was 2014, and that was my planning period. One of the questions was if I got into any program. So at that time, there was a program called Ontario Self-Employment Benefit Program, OSEB. It was an excellent program run by YMCA where you would get EI, but you had to commit to complete this. I think it was a 9-month program. And they basically took you through everything from, market research to business plan. I hated writing business plan and, calculating what is your anticipation revenue and, what is your cost and
drudge work.
I did realize how valuable it was later because, I go back to that and it just talks about in 5 years, this is what I want to do. And I'm on this 8-year mark and I look at it and I'm like, wow, a lot of them have come true, the things that, I wanted to do. So it was good.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that was really good. It had everything in terms of coaching, mentoring, putting us in contact with the right people, telling us how to really start the business. So that was fantastic. And that was the year that I built the website. And I had nothing. I just had a website. If people would call me, ask for a tour, I would just go to a bike shop, rent bike from them, and then I will run the tour. So through some adversity, I decided to have my own bikes. One of the shops that I was renting from decided that they wouldn't want to rent to me anymore. So I kind of was having a little bit of issue. So I decided to get a business loan and just get 20 bikes, a trailer, and put it on Sparks Street and run my tours there. So that was my second year. And then I was getting inquiries for bigger groups of 40 or 50 student tours. And I didn't have the capacity. And that was 2017 when we had the 150th celebration of Confederation. So I decided the opportunity was there. So I leased a very, very modest space on Sparks Street. And I added, I made like 70 bikes and I kind of expanded to a retail space in 2017. And since then, it's been almost hopefully a good history if COVID let us,
That's it, yes.
Yeah, it's just I've grown it. And last year we opened a smaller satellite location in the Quebec side, Cartier Cross, where a museum of history is, where I'm renting kayak, paddleboard, and a canoe, and also bike, because I just love this city and I think people could enjoy the outdoors so much. It has so much to offer. So it's aligned with my love for outdoor, for the city, and for, doing something that I enjoy, and I'm kind of my own boss.
I think that's amazing. There's so many great gems in what you just shared, from, experiencing that tremendous loss and having to uproot your life. And so many people here know what that's like. And to, go through the motions of that programming, I think is, it shows your commitment to your dream and commitment to your happiness. Because I think of all the businesses you could have chose, you chose one that's near and dear to your heart. And that's incredibly inspiring. So I want to maybe get a little bit deeper by asking you some questions. Every time we have these lunch and learns, we like to explore a little bit deeper as to the perspective of entrepreneurship from someone who's an immigrant. So my first question for you is, what do you wish you knew, before becoming an entrepreneur? And as in, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give that version of you?
The answer is, of course, so many, so many, only if I knew. But the biggest one that always strikes me is how clueless I was that you cannot have a successful business and grow it without people. In my mind, I was starting a bike tour company that I would give a tour to people, and we're all happy. I'm riding outside all the time, and the life is good. You can't do that. If you have a company, you can't do it. It's been 2 years that I've done only 2 tours per season, because you have to prioritize. And if you grow, on days, let's say on long weekend, I have 24 people for 1 tour at 10 a.m. It's impossible for me. So I need at least 3 people, 4 people to organize, do the tours. And I never thought about it. And I keep telling myself always, my business is nothing without you. People are the ones who make your business or break your business. And I wish I had a bit more understanding of that. And I've been pretty good in recruiting and keeping the tour guides, but I was very, very clueless about it. So just keep in mind, we can't really grow a business meaningfully without help of others.
Wow, that really sinks in. That really, really sinks in. Wonderful response. And so how would you, given where you're at in your business, how would you describe your customer base? And if you could share with us, which marketing methods have been proven to be, the most effective?
Well, my business primarily pre-pandemic was pretty much 99% tourists and visitors who come to the city, mainly Canadian, then American, and then Europeans, and rarely other countries, but primarily tourists, very, very few locals. Of course, after the pandemic, it has grown a little bit more. But I always tell my customers, my best method of advertisement is my customers, reviews, word of mouth. So we offer excellent service. We are confident about it. If someone is not happy, we take great care of them. And that has been my machine. People say, we want, we are going to help you do Google ad or Facebook ad. And I'm like, my customers are my Facebook ad and Google ad. If they're happy, they tell people, and they do. I do have clients who come take a tour, tell their family. The next thing you know, their family are coming and taking a tour. So that's my motto always. Provide service to clients that I want to receive when I go somewhere. I'm very, very. I have high expectation. And I'm hard on my staff. They know it. They know I'm very hard because everything has to be near perfect, which is impossible. But when you give that to people, they see that you are there for them, and then they tell others. So that's what I can say to customers and our value.
That's amazing. I can attest to everything you just described, because when Grace went on her tour, she also went on a tour to tell everyone about it. So
Yeah.
it works.
And it's beautiful because we don't necessarily ask people to do it, but when they do it, it's like, oh, that's so nice. For me, the nicest moments are when I take a rarely day off and then I see a review coming in, and I'm like, I love that my staff are doing such a great job that people are leaving a review without us asking. And I'm like, oh, I can have a better rest now.
Oh my goodness, that's priceless.
Yeah, and for sure, the most spontaneous reviews are the best ones.
Yes.
And I can tell you, and I'm telling you here spontaneously to the group in on the screen right now. Anybody that's interested in biking, Maria's shop is fabulous. Not only does she provide rental bikes, and for the first time, I've actually rented an electric bike, and from your store, Maria. I've never done that before. It was really great. But not only that, I love the cafe too, because you can get nice coffee and treats before or after your trip. And that's something that I always like, to do after my exercise. So it's a one shop place for sure.
Yeah, thank you indeed. Yeah, I would hope in another question, or I would talk about the cafe as well. But
That's amazing. There's nothing like word of mouth. And so can you tell us, tell us about why you believe customers choose your company over your competitors? What makes you stand out?
It's the amount of care and thought that has been given to the product and to the service. It's really that, like you see our 2-hour tour, people come and they say they love it. The people who did it on the year one, they loved it too. But that tour has gone through 10 iteration and change of route and plans. It's because I'm not someone who says if it ain't broken, don't fix it. For me, it's like, what are the other opportunities? How can I enhance this? And my customer today doesn't know how the tour 5 years ago looked like, but I go every year at the beginning of the season with my tour guides, and we revise, we rehearse everything. We say, okay, what should we do? Just constantly working at it rather than having it as a static product that, it's getting great reviews, it's perfect, let's leave it as is. It's a disease I have, constant change, looking.
Right.
Yeah, like I have a bit of ADHD, like attention deficit that, I need to change. I can't just stick with one thing. It's just, so that reflects in a product if you are, looking for quality. And people come to me and they say, oh, well, your price is high. And I always tell them, you can get Tim Horton coffee or you can get Starbucks coffee. I'm not a Tim Horton, I'm Starbucks. So you get what you look for. And if this is not the price for you, I'm not willing to work with volume. I don't offer volume. I always say I compete for quality, not quantity. So that is
Nice.
People come for that, and they see that in the website, in the way we treat them, and we take them to a tour.
You compete for quality, not quantity. That's definitely something to take away from today. I particularly love, how you mentioned being neurodivergent and, using that and channeling that as something to help your business grow and thrive, and, not settling into complacency, but looking for more opportunities, which is, a great quality for an entrepreneur if you have it or if you can cultivate it. So thanks for sharing that with us. Next, I'm curious to know, and I feel like you touched on it a little bit more, but feel free to expand. What has been your most satisfying moment in business so far?
Beautiful smiles, happy customers. Those are the ones who make my day. Winter sometimes is hard for me because I don't see that. COVID has been very hard for me. Like financially, it is hard, but I always told everyone the hardest part is all those happy people that we used to see. They would come, they would be a bit intimidated. Oh, I haven't biked in 20 years. Oh, I'm not sure if I can keep up. And then, they come back with a big smile. We did it. And they are so happy. And those are priceless moments. So I always say the transformation that I see in people. When I see a group of doctors taking a tour with us, and then they say, oh, we never knew there is such a thing as bike tour. From now on, wherever we go, we take bike tours. And then that transformation is going to probably somehow translated to their patients as well. And I have people who come, they take a tour and they say, I haven't biked in 20 years, but I love this so much, I'm going to go home and buy a bike. Transformation in people. And that is what I'm after. I want people to go out, be happy, remember what it was to be a kid and ride a bike, and just cultivate that more in their adult life.
Amazing. And you know, in a way it comes full circle because, you know, it was your memory of biking as a kid and, you know, before you weren't allowed to, and capturing that that happiness and being able to share it with so many other people. It's tremendous value.
Mhm.
And so given how much you've gone through, how do you continue to grow and develop as an entrepreneur?
That's a tough one. Are you asking me like professionally or personally?
I feel like everyone can benefit from a little bit of both because, you know, it's just like when you're a whole person, you know, it's hard to like split. This is my business half, this is my personal half, especially in this COVID world. So, you know, not expecting that you're a perfect person, but what are some ways that you know, you keep that growth and development in yourself?
I always joke with my family and friends that I'm a seasonal family member. I'm a seasonal friend. It's like my friends don't see me for 6 months and then suddenly they see me every week.
At least you're upfront about it.
Yeah, so everyone knows that. So, and you know what is funny, because I like that. I mean, a lot of people like to work 5 days and take 2 days off. I love the idea of working seven months nonstop, including weekends, including long weekends, and then having a couple of months of, you know, lower stress, relaxation. And that's the time that also take and do a lot of basically learning and development, self-development, professional development. So this is my time. Like last year, my biggest project was, we were closed, but my biggest project was revamping my website. I had a lovely immigrant web developer, but she kept telling me, you're an expert. I feel like I'm working with a colleague, because I knew exactly what was going on. I just didn't want to do the hard work. So she would do most of the like architecture, but you know, I took it on myself to learn what it means to be a customer and navigate that website.
Mhm.
And you have no idea how many people came in summer told us, you know, we came to you because of your website. That website was awesome, so easy, so, you know, communicative. We loved it. So yeah, I do a lot of yoga, try to do meditation, reading. I have like I have a list of personal development, business related book, and I have basically a lineup in library that, you know, I just put them on hold, like request. And then when I finish it, I write down, you know, what I thought about that book. And so, but I don't read during my season. I don't have time. So I do a lot of these things from November to April. And I like that pace. It's just, it's very hard as a business owner, entrepreneur to be able to take time off. So it takes me about a month to kind of shut down a little bit.
Right.
And, you know, get into the rhythm of self-care.
You know, I love that you brought up self-care. It's very interesting the way your schedule works and the way you know, you take those couple months off, as opposed to, like, as you said, 5 days a week and then I think the weekend. And I think it's, you know, one of the liberties you have as an entrepreneur, but also it comes with its challenges. So I'm happy that you touched on some of those. Next for you, I'm curious about, you know, what keeps you motivated. You talked a little bit about the lows and the highs. So what keeps you motivated during those highs and lows in your entrepreneurial journey?
That's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of low times, especially during COVID. Yeah, I mean, I always go back to why. You have to constantly remember, why did you start this? And maybe it's too early for me to say, you know, I always think about legacy, and I think about, if I die, what is my legacy? And you know, I want to create an experience in this city that people who come here, they would enjoy it and they remember it and they share it with others. So keep thinking of that. The other thing that really keeps me motivated is the staff, the young staff that we bring on board every year. And we train them. Like, last year I had 2 high school students who basically started, that was their first job. So they would talk to a customer and then they would tell me, is that okay? And I said, I'm glad you asked. So here is my feedback. It was great, but talk like this, say this, instead of say, I need a credit card, you say, may I have your credit card, please? And, all those small little learning moments that you create. And then by the end of the season, you see this young, inexperienced person is so happy and confident and they love what they do. I never saw it again when I started a business. There will be such a joy in mentoring and training them. But those are the things that keep me going. My customers, the value we give them, and the great staff that I work with.
Wonderful, wonderful. Who would have known it? If mentoring someone would help energize you, and motivate you to keep going. I can only imagine watching that transformation that they experience and they blossom into a more confident person, with apparently a little bit more manners, which is nice. That's always good. I'm just want to let everybody know, I don't have to be the only one asking questions. Feel free to start putting questions in the chat for Maria. And I do have a few more questions to you, but I want everybody to think of something that you'd like to know. Maria's spent quite some time in the tourism sector. If your business is geared to that, then maybe that's where your question is related. Maybe you're starting your business or you're just thinking about starting a business. Do you have any curiosities there that you think Maria might be able to offer perspective on? So think about that. Pop it in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself when we get to that stage. But before we get to Q&A, Maria, if you could share, a piece of advice to someone who maybe is a newcomer and wants to become an entrepreneur today, what's a piece of advice that you'd share?
I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard that networking is very key. Talking to people and asking them for meaningful help. You never know when that leads you. When I was starting my business, I contacted a gentleman who was at the time the president of an advocacy organization called Bike Ottawa. Just wanted to talk to him, learn about what he does, kind of really brainstorm with him. And we met at his office. Fast forward 2 years later, he retired and he's one of my best tour guides. Never went with the intention of hiring him as a tour guide, but went to learn from him, and you keep that connection, and then that becomes a golden opportunity to have someone in your team. He is excellent, and I'm so fortunate to have him. So I would say getting out and networking. It's a very, very unnatural thing for me to do as well. I'm an introvert. I'm happy to stay home alone for days, and it doesn't bother me. But you have to get out of your comfort zone and just tell people what you're doing and ask for advice. Like, I had a group of ladies that I made food for them. I made Persian food for them, and I brainstormed with them about the name of my company. I told them the story, and then, okay, tell me, you're my potential target market. Tell me what you think. Tell me what name resonates with you. So still, some of those ladies, they are one of my biggest fan, and they tell people about me, and they are there when I need them. So I would say networking and talking to people and building the support system. This country, every country in the world, every country, of course, human beings in general, but here as well, who you know and how you connect with people is very important.
Yeah, I think you can't really be said any better. Networking is incredibly valuable when you're starting a business, especially if you're starting in a new country where you might not have as many business ties or professional ties in the community. So honestly, it's a good place to start. I have to plug the mentorship program here just to say, you know, that's really what we do, is make connections between new immigrant entrepreneurs and seasoned business owners in the Canadian community. So if you just don't know where to start, One Hub can help you. The one thing we really have is networks. We have those ties. So it sounds like, from what you're saying, Maria, that was really a great way for you to really connect to the needs of your customer base and understand where your business can go based on the networking that you did. Looks like we have some questions in the chat. I'm going to hand the mic over to the One Hub manager, Grace Shang. She's going to lead the Q&A portion. So please put your questions in the chat. Off to you, Grace.
Okay, so the first question we have from Christiana is, what was the time frame needed in the beginning of your business till you saw constant sales?
So in my business, there is no such thing as constant sales. It's seasonal business, so nobody rents bikes or wants to do bike tour, or rarely anybody, I must say. Maybe that would change in winter. So I don't know how to interpret constant sale, but what I can say is that I did have sale from year one, but it wasn't enough to sustain the business. So I still had my other jobs. In winter, I still would teach in university. I do consulting, and that went on for 3 years until the business was sustainable enough for me to ease up on some of the other winter jobs that I was doing. And then even when that happens, you always have a choice of paying yourself or reinvesting in the business to grow it. So, and I have made some choices to reinvest and grow it instead of just saying, okay, it was a good year, let's pay myself bonus and go, sit on the beach and read novels. So, yeah, I can't answer that question, but I can tell you that it is very, very unrealistic to expect from any business to be sustainable and profitable within the first 3 to 5 years, even if it's not seasonal, because there are a lot of startup costs involved.
Yes, and I can relate to what you're saying, because many of our facilitators in our training program say that don't quit your day job, okay, until you start making real money in your business. And as you just confirmed, Maria, you had to continue teaching in your university for a good 3 years before you actually thought, okay, I'm making enough money now that I can do my business on a full-time basis, right? Yes, so that is something that we also recommend, because as we know, the statistics for businesses businesses working and businesses failing, unfortunately, businesses do fail within, the first 3 years. So you want to make sure that you can still sustain yourself from a financial perspective in any other way. Now, the second question is from Caius. How did you deal with funding? Startup funding, then fluctuation and cash flow?
So with the funding, I did the second year when I decided to buy bikes and trailer and, just have more of an independent operation. I did get a loan. I think it's called Futurepreneur loan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did get that $40,000 loan. So that was helpful to give me the kind of strength to go ahead and do it. I do know people talk about cash flow, but to be honest, I don't believe in cash flow. I always believe in having enough money for the year. So I don't depend on cash flow to pay my bills. I always make sure that I allocate enough money to have for my bills. So it's not like, okay, I have to pay my bill now and I don't have a cash. That wouldn't be a good business for me. The good business for me would be, I need 100K, to pay my bills for the year. No matter what my cash flow is, that should be always there.
Okay.
So it's a different way. Not many people deal with that, but I am very, very cautious about cost. I always say saving money is making money. So I make sure that I run a lean operation, and regardless of July is a great month of the year for us, and then February is dead. It doesn't matter. There should be money to pay my bills, regardless of what's coming, So whatever that is extra in July is going to be right away allocated to all the bills throughout the year. So that's just my philosophy in cash flow. And yeah, I do try to, as I said, I paid my business loan within a year. Because I could pay myself and say, the business loan, I have 5 years to pay. But when I had the sale, I chose to pay off my business loan, and they were upset because they wanted the interest. And I'm like, you get the money and you're charging me 10% interest, leave me alone. Oh, why? And I'm like, because you're charging me 10% interest. That's ridiculous. So,
they are a business themselves, right? So they want to make money too from you.
Yeah, they make it as if they're making an exception for you, but the interest rate is really high. And after it's like, what is this? I just teach 1 more year and I pay you off.
Yeah. For the people that do not know, Futurepreneur is a great program if you fit within their criteria. So Futurepreneur does gear towards people that are 18 to 39 years old. And they are one of the few organizations that do provide some form of funding. As Maria said, she received $40,000. But I think my understanding is they can also top you up with EDC money too. So as far as I can tell from their website, you can get up to $60,000 as a loan.
Yeah. And I just realized this session is being recorded. I must say, I'm very grateful for that loan. Okay, let me recover here. I really screwed up. It was great. Like, to be honest, things really got crazy, and I literally had basically a week before I turned 40 to be qualified for that loan.
Qualify. So you made it right under the edge, eh?
Exactly. So I kind of put all I said, okay, I'm going to send you the application right away. And I think what is unique about it is that if you're an immigrant and you don't have much credit history,
that's right.
They are lenient. They are not like a traditional bank that who are you?
Correct.
You don't have a history here. So it is very important. The interest is a bit higher than you highlight, but hey, it helped me to get where I am. So I am extremely grateful.
Good. I'm very happy it worked out for you. All right. Another question here from Samaya. Since you have a physical location and fixed costs, what strategy do you have in place for managing the off season?
That's a great question. That is something that, it's a great, avenue to talk about the cafe. So when I started and leased the location, I asked a good friend of mine who was running his vintage restoration in his out of his house. I asked him to join me. So he came and we shared the space together. Therefore shared the cost. So he was running the bike shop and I was running the bike tools and rentals, and it worked really well. And constantly we saw people who would come. I would send hundreds of people to coffee shops around, or they would come really in rush for their tour. Oh, I need to grab a bite. Where can I have something? So we had so many people who either before tour or after tour would come and ask for, or rental, ask for something to drink. So we decided that we were in such a great pedestrian street, and we started the idea of having a bike cafe on site where if people come to fix their bike with him as a bike shop, they can sit and have a coffee and wait for their bike. If people come to do a tour, then they would do it, basically after or before. So the idea had been going in our mind for a few years, and in January 2020, we leased the location, we bought the equipment, and then the pandemic hit. And then everything just got delayed drastically. And finally, we opened the cafe in May 2021 during the lockdown. So our idea was to offset those costs, but in off season by having the cafe, by having events where local musicians come, having game night, really create a hub for people who love great food, who love outdoor and biking to come and feel that they're in a cozy place with like-minded people. So, I mean, that was the plan, and we'll see what COVID has in plan for us.
Yes, exactly. I think I must have been lucky because I must have caught you at a time in between the lockdowns last summer, because I was able to take advantage of your cafe. And I know you have an outdoor patio too now, right? On Spark Street. So I definitely will want to go there this summer in between lockdowns.
Check out who will have local. We ran about, I think, 4 or 5 live events. It was really nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. So, okay, I recognize what the time is now, so we do have to wrap it up. But of course, I want to thank Maria very, very much for sharing her very inspirational story with us. And it's always nice to talk to people, immigrant entrepreneurs, and learn about their personal story, because as many of us are immigrants, we can all resonate in some way, right? Tanisha?
Thanks, Grace. Honestly, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, Maria. I'm sure what you've shared today has at least, inspired, if not informed, people on what to look forward to on their entrepreneurial journey. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and candid. As you can all see here, these are the ways you can connect with One Hub and Escape Tours and Rentals. I, for one, am really excited about the electric bike, so I'm going to try to do that. I also like kayaking, so now I know where to go. Thank you again. Thank you for everyone for attending. Please, if you missed anything or just want to recap, we will post this recording on our YouTube channel. You can find that via our website, www.onehubottawa.ca. We'd love to connect with anybody who's interested in entrepreneurship and don't know where to go. We're happy to provide resources and support. And before I go, I just want to launch a poll. Please let us know.
I also, if you don't mind, I thank you. I'm seeing your direct or your messages. I really appreciate your warm feedback. It was a pleasure being with you, and you do have my email address and contacts, so feel free to check us out. If you have any question, email me. I am on the email away if I can be of any help.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for your generosity. All right, poll's going. Anybody else want to respond to the poll? What are your favorite ways to network? Please let us know. Awesome. All right, I'll close this up. We got some good responses here. All right, so
100%.
Yeah, I guess I will see all of you at our next Lunch and Learn in April. Please keep your eye out on our website, on our Eventbrite page, and our newsletter. That's where you're going to find out who our next special guest will be. Also, if you're an immigrant entrepreneur and you'd love to be here on our at our event, let us know. We'd love to share the amazing things that you're doing in our community. So thank you again, Maria, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day.
Have a wonderful season, Maria.
Yeah, Thank you so much. We'll see you in summer then.
Yeah, for
We'll see
sure.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Mm.